Hey friends, Sean from Draft Therapy, and I am here today at Witch's Hat Brewing Company in South Lyon, Michigan. I'm here with Jon Coles, the sales director for Witch's Hat, and I am here to preview some of the beers that will be available for Fury for a Feast, which is this Saturday, August 24th, right?
Absolutely, noon to midnight.
All right, so what's some of the details about Fury for a Feast? What's it all about?
Sure. So Fury for a Feast is our annual event, and it's a fundraiser for the Gleaners Food Bank and locally here, a group called Blessings in a Backpack. So Blessings in a Backpack is a group that discreetly puts backpacks full of dried and canned goods in kids that are on the federal food assistance program for them to take home for the weekend to help feed the families.
How long has this festival been going on?
So this will be our 8th festival, I believe.
Okay.
And we started it 2012, so 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 8, yeah, I'll make sure that's right? So we got 6 live bands. We've got the Slows food truck. We got a can drive and a dry goods food drive. And we attract somewhere between 2,200 to 2,400 people in a single day.
Wow. So if you bring a canned good or a non-perishable, you get like a
you get a couple dollar
entry,
discount
right?
on the entry. And all of the entry and all of our auction items and a portion of the day all go towards the charity.
So we have a selection here. Can you tell us what these beers are, and then we're going to try them out? And
I can, absolutely. So we've got 5 beers that we can try here, and from my right to left, we've got Vanilla Bean Night Fury, we've got Dawn of Prometheus Night Fury, we've got Cookies and Cream Night Fury, Bushwacker Night Fury, and Brew It or Lose It, which is an imperial brown ale aged in bourbon maple syrup barrels.
So each of these beers are going to be available on draft, but are they also available in bottles? Like, are all 5 of these available in bottles and draft?
Not all 5 of them. So the Bushwacker will be on draft only.
Okay.
The other 4 will be available for members that signed up in advance for the allocation of the barrel-aged beers, but the remainder will be available the next day to the public.
Right, on Sunday you'll have whatever's left over.
Correct.
People can come in and pick up if they can't make it to the event, or if they're not a member.
Right, if they didn't get a pre-registered allotment, then it's open to everybody else, member or not, on Sunday morning.
Okay, great. So let's, John has his own set of glasses over there. We're not going to be sharing off this.
No, I don't like to share, it's all mine.
Oh, hey. When it comes to beer, I totally understand.
So we'll start our right to left. This is a staple, some might say, really the base beer for our Night Furies. And this is Bourbon Barrel Aged Vanilla Bean Night Fury. So this is a 13.5% roughly barrel aged imperial stout brewed with molasses and lactose. And then we add an absolute ton of bourbon vanilla beans to it afterwards.
Yeah, you can really smell the vanilla in this. And I was seeing on the website, you have multiple years of this available then, right?
I think so. I think there'll be a few different years on draft.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah.
Cheers.
So throughout the years, of course, we've had dozens and dozens of different flavors. This one has really become the staple.
Right.
This is the base. It's always at these events. And just like a lot of brewery staple beers, I just keep coming back to this one. We keep having fun new flavors, and they're great.
Yeah.
But if you came to my house and you were like, hey, pick your favorite one,
It would be this one.
probably going to get the vanilla bean out.
Yeah, this has a lot of vanilla flavor, a lot of that chocolatey kind of maltiness in there, and then you get a lot of you get the bourbon flavor, but it's not overpowering.
Absolutely. And all of these beers, the preferred bourbon barrel is Buffalo Trace. We try to get as many Buffalo Trace as possible.
Yeah,
it lends the flavor we like. Everybody kind of has a house flavor of barrel, and the Buffalo Trace tends to be the flavor that works for our palates. So we do our best to get Buffalo Trace barrels. We have done small batches of several other people's bourbon.
Yeah. And this, I really like the mouthfeel on this because it's kind of a little on the heavy side, a little on the thick side, but it's not too much. It's got a nice kind of
absolutely
tongue coating kind of quality to it.
And if you've had the base beer, just straight up Night Fury, it is a heavily hopped imperial stout. So it's got a lot of kind of bitterness in the original base. And I think that comes through and kind of cuts the thickness of the beer a little bit. So it might not feel as heavy as some other barrel-aged beers.
Right. Yeah, that's, I had some Night Fury that I was holding on to for a while, just the original base beer, and I just cracked it after like a year. I mean, I think it went on shelves like a year ago, and I had it since then, and it was amazing. I was like, well, I'm glad that I sat on this, number one, because it was really good, but I don't think I've ever had it like just fresh.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to see, the differences between having it fresh and having it kind of sit for a little bit. It was refrigerated the whole time, so probably didn't change that much.
Right.
But yeah. So what's the next one here?
So the next one here is one of the new entries that will be available in a bottle. It is the Dawn of Prometheus Night Fury.
Okay.
So this is the same base beer, of course, most likely still primarily Buffalo Trace barrels. This particular one, the defining difference in this is it's using Prometheus dark coffee from Hyperion Roasters down in Ypsi. If you're not familiar with Hyperion, man, you are missing out on some of the best coffee made in the state of Michigan. They farm directly from the farmers, directly from the source. They roast right there in Ypsi. Prometheus Dark is their kind of dark house blend, their everyday coffee that I drink at home. And we always use different crazy, wild, different coffees in a lot of our stuff. And this time it was my idea to be like, hey man, why don't we showcase your house beer?
Right.
And when I was reading the label for their Prometheus Dark, it said, notes of chili pepper, notes of chocolate, not notes of, and I said, well, let's just add those all into a beer.
Yeah.
So you've got the Hyperion Dark coffee, you've got roasted Serrano and Chipotle peppers in this, and you've got Mindo cocoa nibs from Mindo Chocolatiers out in Dexter.
When you started talking about it, I raised it to smell it, and I immediately, before you said anything about coffee, I was like, wow, this is
Coffees and pepper.
This is a kicker. Yeah,
Yep.
Absolutely. I'm ready to try this. It's just the smell I can't get over. It's got a really nice earthy kind of coffee, dark roast kind of smell to it.
And the peppers are there, but they're not a burn. Like we've done the Ghost Pepper Night Fury, and that sucker was hot.
Yeah.
But this one is just that nice kind of earthy, roasty, and just a tiny little bit of heat right on the back of the palate.
And the pepper is like, you get that spiciness, you get that heat, but it's also almost like a black pepper kind of pepper flavor in there too.
Absolutely. And I get that from that coffee. A lot of that dark pepper flavor from the coffee. I drink it at home. I make a trip down there every time I'm empty. So.
What's the ABV on this?
They're all about roughly 13 and a half.
Okay.
Because they're all the same base beer. We brew all the beer at once that goes into the barrels. And it goes in at about 10.5% roughly. And it usually picks up a good solid 3% in the barrel.
Okay.
So yeah, give or take a 0.1%.
What are we moving on to here?
I'm sorry.
That's
I got
okay.
Our beers
Hey,
messed up.
I was keeping a mental note there.
So this one is a repeat of a fan favorite. This is Cookies and Cream Night Fury. So I put the pepper one in between because it's very similar to the vanilla. So this will have a little vanilla in it, but it's also going to have those cocoa nibs, that dark chocolatey cocoa nibs,
right?
And toasted coconut.
Okay.
And it's not so much of that kind of coconut flavor as much as just kind of that mouthfeel of cream like you get out of an Oreo.
Okay, gotcha.
So very similar, but you get a little bit more of that dark roastedness and that coconut opposed to the full-on vanilla bean gives it kind of that brighter kind of cream flavor.
Yeah, the vanilla's in there, but it's not really overpowering vanilla. And like you said, the coconut's in there too, but it's sometimes you get those beers with coconut, and I say it a lot on the channel. You get kind of that suntan lotion effect, where it's just a little bit too much. And this is really nice, and the cocoa even comes through more than the vanilla did. Vanilla bean one did.
Absolutely, the cocoa, that Mindo chocolate is just so good. It's really not a coconut beer. So that's why, when Cookies and Cream, we don't really call it a coconut beer. Because the coconut's really there just to give it that kind of cream filling.
Well, that can also, offset some people that aren't really big into coconut. They're like, like I said, that whole suntan lotion effect, they don't want to get into that, so they just avoid it actively.
Absolutely.
But that's nice to kind of, put the detail in there, but not advertise it up front and maybe throw some people off.
I'm a pretty big fan of that one.
Yeah, that is really good.
I like it a lot.
It's got a nice kind of
So we're going to change the palate a little bit.
To it.
This is yet again a Night Fury. We call this the Bushwacker Night Fury.
Okay.
Bushwacker is a Caribbean drink based with, it's like a rum and Kahlua, all kinds of different flavors in there, some coconut as well. But this is a rum barrel-aged Night Fury, so you definitely get a different nose.
Yep, again, before you said rum, I was like, that's got to be rum.
You get that kind of...
kind of that spiced kind of, even like a coconutty kind of deal in there.
I always get just a little bit of like a lemongrass brightness out of the rum that we use in there. And but yeah, this is rum barrel aged Night Fury. This one has the chocolate again, the vanilla beans again, and the coffee and coconut.
Okay, all right.
So
Ready to try this one?
Absolutely.
Wow, that's really different.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a rum guy, but it's got nice kind of fruitiness that kind of bursts in there.
And the coconut's definitely more prevalent on this one because it is based off a tropical cocktail of the same name. I dig it. It's a nice change of pace. It feels lighter, even though it's pretty much the exact same beer.
Right.
But that rum barrel just kind of gives it a brightness. That coconut gives it a little brightness. And again, Hyperion coffee.
It has almost, like you're saying, it almost doesn't taste like it's part of the same family because of how different it tastes.
Absolutely.
You get a lot more bright, fruity flavor in there. And like you said, the mouthfeel just feels so much lighter because that rum just kind of breaks it up a little bit and doesn't...
I like it quite a bit. This is the second
really
time
good.
we've put it out. Not bottled this time. It'll be on draft only for the weekend.
Okay.
So
awesome.
It'll be good. And the last one we have for you here, this is a special project. This was a collaboration with Listermann's down in Cincinnati, Ohio, who are very famous for making some very well-received and award-winning imperial brown ales aged in different barrels called Chicao, if you've ever had any of their stuff.
I have not.
It's really good. They won a lot of awards at FOBAB. And we met them down at FOBAB last year, and they said, hey, we should get together and do a collab. And, one of the things both of us were pretty well known for were giant beers aged in barrels. So we thought, hey, we should try to do this. So we started thinking about ideas and what we would do with this beer. And we just kept going back to this beer that several of us had 7 or 8 years ago at a different brewery that no longer makes the beer. So it's kind of a throwback homage to inspired by a beer from another local Michigan brewery. So we called this Brew It or Lose It, kind of tongue-in-cheek, inspired from another similar style beer from another brewery in Michigan that hasn't made it in a long time. So this is about a 12% it finished at Imperial Brown Ale aged in maple syrup bourbon barrels, and it is brewed with and aged on cashews.
This smells, the smell directly out of this glass smells like butter and maple syrup covered waffles to me.
Oh, absolutely. I get that.
Yeah. It's just I could just sit here and
I get that exactly. I also tend to get a lot of caramel from this when you actually taste it. And it reminds me of, I grew up in northern Michigan, so Kilwins is kind of near and dear to my heart. And they have those cashew caramel bear claws or whatever, but they're like caramel cashew chocolate bear claws, and that's what this tastes like.
This is amazing. This is really good.
Turned out insanely well. Sadly, this is one of those beers for the allocation that everybody's only getting one bottle. So it's going to be highly sought after, I think.
It's going to be a fist fights on Sunday if there's any left.
Got really happy when Ryan couldn't make this interview and asked me to do it because I knew we were going to open this bottle, so I can't get enough of it.
Special treat, for sure, and definitely a reason to become a member.
Absolutely. So the Listermann guys are going to be really happy about this too, which is always good when you do a collaboration with somebody and it turns out to be just an absolute rock star of a beer.
Yeah. This you can't go wrong with any of the 5. And there's how many are going to be on draft? Actually?
Oh gosh, I think the final tally was 22 so far. So 22 different variations of various barrel-aged beers from multiple vintages of a couple of different beers. So
that's awesome. And then how many different styles will be in bottles as well?
It'll be 5 different bottled beers.
Okay, awesome. It's for a great cause. And you get to have some absolutely amazing beer. If these 5 are any indication of like what's going to be here on Saturday,
so much fun.
Yeah. If you come down here on the 24th, I don't think that you will not have a good time.
Yeah. And last year we raised over $15,000 in one day for the charities combined.
Yeah,
so,
that's really the most important thing. But
it really is.
Being a little selfish, having some awesome beer.
And it's fun just to try to see 2,200 to 2,400 people fit through the door in a day here.
Right. So. And it's all held out in the parking lot, right?
Yeah, we closed down the parking lot. There's a couple of parking lots we asked people to use around town. Some people walk for up to a mile to get to us for that day. So we appreciate everybody's efforts.
And from what I've tasted today, it's definitely worth it.
Absolutely.
All right, John. Well, thanks so much.
Cheers, Sean. Appreciate your time.
Just want to thank Ryan and John here for having me out. Witch's Hat Draft Therapy, give you guys a preview of what's to come for this Saturday, August 24th. Again, Fury for a Feast. All for the benefit of Gleaners Food Bank and Blessings in a Backpack. Again, really helping out South Lyon, helping out the South Lyon community with providing everybody good beer and making it all, a special event for everybody. So again, thanks to Witch's Hat, thanks to John, thanks to Ryan. And guys, if you have a chance, if you're got some time open on Saturday, come on down. It's it's for a good cause, and there's some great beer here. So hopefully we'll see you there. So as always, thanks for watching. It's Sean from Draft Therapy. Remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries like Witch's Hat here, and most importantly, don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. Thanks for watching. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, John. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.